Wow, that stand is so slow. I wrote good mine. Who would want that when it's so slow? What? Ah! Hey, this is a series where you'll learn everything you need to know about the Roblox game ABizarreDay. From origin history to combos and matchups, we have everything here on this mini-series. Welcome to HTUC, otherwise known as How to Use and Counter. The stand recently came out and I got a lot of requests to make this video. This time we'll be going over CR, also known as Chariot Requiem. This is a beginner's guide or a refresh guide to pros for how to use and counter Chariot Requiem. You will not become a pro instantly after watching this. It takes practice. I would also like to mention that Chariot Requiem will most likely get balancing updates in the future, so you should check the pinned comment in the future because I will add additional info there as time goes on. If the stand gets a complete revamp, I'll make another guide for this stand. Also, did I mention we have a subreddit and a Roblox group now? Wow. Anyways, all info came from the ABD wiki for combo inspiration, participating in 1v1s, spectating 1v1s, the ABD Discord, and the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fandom wiki. Also, please keep in mind, I am a samurai main. Alright, I'm going to say this here, but spoilers. You may want to mute the video or skip until we get to the next section after Origins. If you've watched part 5 though, no spoilers. Chariot Requiem is a stand obtained when Polnareff pokes Silver Chariot with the arrow. Polnareff later dies after Silver Chariot is poked, making Chariot Requiem move and have a mind of its own. Chariot Requiem is mostly mindless and just walks around with only one goal in mind, to protect the arrow it is holding. It first appears in chapter 571 of the manga or the 146th episode of the anime. Chariot Requiem is tough. It is able to attach detached limbs back onto itself. Basically, it has regeneration. It is also able to affect souls and other stands. Chariot Requiem can also control other stands to protect the arrow. Any stand user that tries to take the arrow will be attacked by their own stand. Chariot Requiem can also transform souls or people into unidentifiable creatures. Although Chariot Requiem doesn't have much combat ability, many still consider it to be one of the most dangerous and strongest stands in the series. TYMNK stands for Things You Might Not Know. I only do this section for new stands as some people may not know certain things about the new stand and what they can do. Here are just a few things you might not know about Chariot Requiem. You can enable and disable your circle by pressing Q. E makes it so your opponent cannot use any moves, so you can combo it into another move like T. If landing a barrage on someone is difficult, you can activate B and hold E while walking. Barraging does not slow down your walk speed. If someone falls asleep in your circle, just hold E. Do not, by any circumstance, press T. You'll hit them once and just go way past them, like this. If a Chariot Requiem is barraging you, for some reason, if you turn around, you can still use your moves, including stand jump, to get out quickly. You can jump in barrage. You can jump during T to get over small obstacles. You can obtain Chariot Requiem by first getting Silver Chariot, which is a 7% chance from arrows. Then, look in the bottom right and check if your Requiem obtained is true or not. If it says false, then you must find a Requiem arrow. Requiem arrows spawn randomly around the map every 37.5 minutes with a 25% chance of spawning. You can also obtain it from a trowel with a 0.75% chance. Also, stand arrows spawn every minute and will despawn on the map after 15 minutes. They will not despawn if the arrow is already in your inventory though. Anyways, if it says Requiem obtained true in the bottom right, you can press B with Silver Chariot equipped to get Chariot Requiem. It will turn back to regular Silver Chariot once you join another server. The stand has its fair share of strengths and weaknesses. Let's just go over a few. Some strengths include good passives. They're good passives in general, and in 1v1s, since no one else will enter your circle besides your opponent, they will fall asleep because of the first phase of the circle. You can get an easy barrage on them while they are asleep unless the passive doesn't work and they don't fall asleep for some reason. They're kind of buggy as of the time of recording this. Its barrage makes your opponent unable to use moves and cancels attacks. T deals good damage if it hits multiple times and can also be used as a good runaway option. It can heal. Granted, it's not a very good heal since you don't get super armor or anything. Basically, you can get killed easily if you heal for too long. it will have good durability. As of right now, the durability or HP is kind of bad, but its HP is getting buffed in the near future. Now some weaknesses would include it's slow, just flat out. It's slow and will struggle against stands with projectiles. Even against Hierophant Green, it will struggle to win. Obviously, B helps with this, but B isn't active all of the time and it has a 15-second cooldown. No projectiles. It's slow and has no projectiles. Obviously, not all stands have projectiles, but those stands have other things that make up for it. It does have quite a few moves in its moveset, but the cooldown on the moves are really not that good. Like, Y has a 120-second cooldown on a move that lasts 2 seconds, and as of right now, sometimes it doesn't even work. It doesn't have a block. The stand does have quite a few combos, they just maybe aren't the most reliable. However, if you do manage to land these combos perfectly, they will deal a ton of damage. Most people ban F in their 1v1s, so none of these combos will have F. I will go over 2 easy, 1 medium, and 1 hard combo. Keep in mind that you can modify these combos and you should not only use these combos. I would love to hear your combos in the comment section. Keep in mind that blocking makes these combos deal worse damage. A relatively easy combo that deals good damage if T successfully connects. The difficult part of this combo is managing to land R since you're so slow. This is also a relatively reliable and good combo that you can do a lot in your 1v1s. The B at the beginning isn't necessary, but it definitely helps the combo connect better. This deals decent to great damage depending on how long you hold E. This is a combo that is a little bit more difficult to pull off and mostly relies on the amount of hits from T. The E is just there to make sure the opponent is unable to use moves. If you can land a lot of hits from T with this stand, you can kill a lot of stands with this one combo. This is a hard combo to pull off, but can kill pretty much almost any stand in the game if done correctly. I highly recommend doing a space during the C dash animation to make connecting E easier. Obviously, I also recommend doing B since that improves your run speed and makes E even easier to connect. After doing E for a little bit, using T and allowing it to connect well will make you be able to kill many stands. Of course, the cooldowns on this stand are a bit long, so pulling this off in a 1v1 will be difficult, which is why this is hard difficulty. In this 1v1, we are facing the world over heaven. Of course, they spam knives at the start because we are a slow stand. But as we keep going, they change to close combat and try to use R on us. As soon as I see R start up, I turn around and press C to dodge, then turn around again and go for the whiff punish by pressing T, doing lots of damage to them. The match is now in my favor. This stand can be strong if used the correct way, but there are also many ways to counter it. Let's go over a few ways you can counter this stand. If you have projectiles, use them. The stand is kind of helpless against projectiles at the start of matches, especially if your projectile is a gun, since Chariot Requiem is so slow. Just keep in mind they may use T or B to get to you quickly. If you see them use E or arrow barrage, you can either try to go for a combo or distance yourself and use more projectiles. I wouldn't really recommend barraging back since their barrage cancels yours. Try holding block before entering the Chariot Requiem circle. This way you can block while being asleep and take less damage. Anything with speed and mobility always helps in defeating this stand. Do not walk in a straight line towards this stand. They will just press T. I will now go over a bad habit that many new users to Chariot Requiem do when they first get the stand so that you don't make those same mistakes. I'm mostly guessing this is because the stand is new or something, but people tend to think X is a block or gives you super armor or something. It doesn't. I'm just trying to tell people, do not regen right in front of your opponent. They will kill you or do more damage than you can regen. It will not be pretty. And if your opponent's stand has projectiles, even if you're far away, you don't want to regen for too long or they will deal damage to you with projectiles. Basically, don't regen in front of your opponent. Thank you. I will now go over matchups against popular stands in standard 1v1 rules and see how they play out, meaning no time stop beatdowns, etc., and how to have a better chance at winning the matchups mentioned. If I'm being honest, a lot of matchups really aren't great for Chariot Requiem as of now. But anyways, with Gold Experience Requiem, let's talk about Return to Zero. If you stand still and get caught by it, you will most likely die since you can't block. So, what can you do? Well, a lot of people say to just turn around and press T to get away as far as possible, but sometimes bad Wi-Fi kind of makes that impossible. So I came up with an alternative. Just look at this clip. So basically what happened is they went for F plus E, but I used my barrage to cancel theirs and did T to take the advantage. Yes, you can use your barrage during Return to Zero, and it cancels their barrage. And that's how you protect yourself from Return to Zero. The stand is still very strong, and it will be difficult to win. You probably want to keep your distance and wait for cooldowns, and whenever they Return to Zero, just hold E and counterattack. If they shoot a projectile during Return to Zero or space themselves correctly, then I don't know. For some reason, I haven't lost a single 1v1 against a Tusk Act 4. Granted, I only did 5 1v1s against them, but what I concluded was that none of them actually did anything besides Z plus E. Whenever they would start barraging me, I would use my barrage to cancel their barrage, then combo it into T. They should have changed their plans after realizing my barrage canceled their barrage, but they didn't. But some Tusk Act 4s may just spam projectiles the whole time. You can try to get them in your circle to make them fall asleep, or activate B and go for a close range battle. Most people will go for a close range battle if you get close enough to them. Just keep in mind they may use R and not E, so you will want to try to dodge R. Do your best. You can win against a stand if played correctly, but it will still be difficult. This stand is painful. It really is. If they use Y on you, you better start spamming C on your combo really fast to get away. If they start using Z, you should probably start holding E, since most Made in Heaven users drop down right in front of you after finishing Z. This way you can catch them with your barrage as soon as they drop down. If they drop behind you, you should probably use C and get away as quickly as possible. F from Made in Heaven does a lot of damage, and you can pretty much only dodge it with T or B plus C. And if it wasn't obvious enough, activate your circle. This matchup really is not in your favor. If you manage to kill a Made in Heaven that knows what they're doing, I will say that doing that is very impressive. Note, many of these matchups heavily depend on whether the Chariot Requiem user is very experienced and skilled or not. They can also be false if the opponent knows what they're doing. Make sure to adapt to how your opponents play and choose your best options from there, such as how do they move, do they dash or roll frequently, what about counters and stand jumps. As I said before, this is a beginner's guide for how to use and counter Chariot Requiem. Also, I would like to mention that Chariot Requiem will most likely get bouncing updates in the future, so you should check the pinned comment in the future because I will add additional info there as time goes on. To find out more, you should do research yourself and do 1v1s. The ABD community is usually nice enough to do 1v1s and help you in their Discord server about stand strategies. Be sure to give me suggestions in the comments or on my Discord server, more importantly, for the next how to use counter. Have a nice day and goodbye.